Hi, I'm sending this out because I'm not sure how open you are to change, but I thought you might be. You might be open to benefiting from change, even. I titled this 7% or 700% because the same change produces different results for different people depending on how they relate to the change. They can resist change, they can ignore change, they can accept change and adjust to it, adapt, and benefit from it. So how open are you to benefiting from change? Many people, in my experience, are not particularly open. They might criticize change habitually. I have done this. You know other people who've done it, and you may have done it yourself. You've probably done all these things. You've seen changes before other people notice the change. You've seen it, adapted to it. Other times you've kind of ignored the potential for change. Other people may have warned you of something, and then it manifested and you were surprised even though you'd been warned. You may have tried to bring something to the attention of other people that they didn't notice as soon as you did, and they may have adjusted and noticed, based on your warning and alert. They may have noticed it themselves and adjusted and benefited or avoided danger, or they may not have. They may have ignored you or just, gone on about how they already were going. So the particular change I'm going to refer to as an example is the last 2.5 or 3 years of stock prices in the U.S. As measured in the Dow Jones Industrial Average of 30 leading U.S. companies. They just combine the prices of the stocks of 30 U.S. leading companies, 30 leading U.S. companies, and call that the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and then chart it, measure it. What's actually measured here is the value that the investing masses associate with those particular companies as distinct from other companies and other investments. That's all it's really measuring, by the way. Anyway, so there's been a change in the perceived value that people have of owning these companies, stock shares. Over the last 3 years, overall, there hasn't been much change at all, but there was a big dip, pronounced, and in particular in October of 2008, there was a really vast decline. And then in March of 2009, there was a reversal and a rebound began. Of course, you can see that the amount of time it took for things to go down was a lot shorter than the amount of time for things to go up. In other words, things went down very fast and went up relatively slowly. So the same change can have a variety of different results. Somebody could gain 7% from it. Somebody could gain 700% from it. Somebody else might not have been investing in stocks at any of that period of time or any investments, yet they might have experienced changes based on job markets, other things that would affect them. Maybe their job was affected. Maybe their sense of security was affected, even if they didn't have direct investment in any stocks or anything else. So peace of mind is one benefit from being open to change. Peace of mind. But as well, prosperity and the security and safety in regard to avoiding easily predictable risks. So you could have gained 7% in the last 2.5 years in the U.S. stock market. And if you would have done that, you would have gone through a 40% decline. But you could have recognized the risk of that big decline in stocks of over 40%. That red line, by the way, is for August 28th, 2008, when I published Stop Gambling Quick, Get Rich Safely, an article in which I made reference to the immediate future of a recognition by a lot of people that they had underestimated the risk in the U.S. stock market prices. March 2nd, at that green line, is actually when I published a second alert saying that there would be a rebound in the U.S. stock market. But let's just go back to this initial issue. You could have gained 7% in those 2.5 years, and including suffering through that loss of 40% or more. Or you could have recognized the immense predictable risk of a big decline in stocks and considered how that easily predictable shift or change was an opportunity, how it could be an opportunity, and then just taken an easy gain of 100% in a few months from that exact same change. URPIX is the mutual fund that went up there from about 16 to 32. And if you had taken that 100% gain in a few months and then combined that 100% gain, say $10,000 would have become $20,000. You could have taken that gain, combined it with another gain, a second gain of 300%. So your $20,000 would gain another $60,000 for a total of $80,000. And here's a close-up of FAS and BGU, a couple of investments that in several months gained 3, 4, even 500%. So that same change in the last 2.5 or 3 years, that same change in the U.S. stock market could have produced a 7% gain, including that loss of over 40%. Or you could have combined a couple trades and made at least 700%. The exact same change in the U.S. stock market, two very different results. And of course, there's a variety of other results possible. For instance, here's FAZ. You can see from November 4th, 2008 to November 21st, 2008, in other words, a couple of weeks, a 700% gain from 3,000 to 10,000. So 700% doesn't take always 2.5 years to produce, but it can be that that's kind of the point of reference to use gains of that magnitude in that time frame. So once again, I send this out to you because you may have received that August 28th email, Stop Gambling Quick, Get Rich Safely. You may have also received that March 2, 2009 email alerting to the end of the decline in U.S. stocks and a rebound. You may have received those emails. You may recognize that the same change, when noticed early and adjusted to for people who are open to change, can produce immense benefits like 700%. For other people, negligible benefits or moderate benefits like 7%. Other people, lost their jobs in that time frame, had bankruptcies. There's this real estate prices, governments destabilized. There's like in Ireland and Greece and more recently, places like Egypt, Libya. So we have change going on all the time. We have a variety of results in regard to how people relate to change. So how would you choose to relate to change? Are you open to benefiting from change? Because changes are coming. Changes are happening already. Are you opening to benefit? Are you targeting 7% gains, 700% gains? What are you open to? There's a lot more than just financial results available. Again, peace of mind is one thing I mentioned in regard to being open to change. By that I mean open to noticing it, recognizing it. So open to noticing change, peace of mind is available, while other people may be surprised and upset and panicking and frustrated and a variety of other things, it's also possible to have peace of mind and tremendous financial benefit, among many other things. To be a leader amongst people rather than to be complaining about politicians or foreigners or foreign politicians, criticizing people, that you might think should have been responsible for you, that I might think should have been responsible for me. Rather than criticize, we can just open to change and adjust and benefit. Thanks for your interest. If you would like to contact me about partnering in regard to benefiting from the changes that I have already noticed next, let me know. There are immense changes happening now. I'm not just sending this incidentally at this time. I'm sending this because I'm aware of immense changes that are about to happen. Many people will suffer. Many people will benefit. Many people will really not notice much of a difference in their life at all, but that's pretty rare. Most people are going to know. Most people are going to notice. So it's also March 5th, 2011, as I make this. March 3rd, 2003, just over 8 years ago, was when I first published an alert indicating that there was a very, very high probability of a continuing of a pattern that I'd already noticed, which was a shift in the lending and borrowing behavior of investors worldwide, and in particular in relation to the U.S. Treasury, it so happens, U.S. bond market. And that change I recognize as having significant implications for the U.S. real estate market, prices of real estate, prices of stocks. Even in March of 2003, I was already making reference to prices of commodities. And as time went on, in 2004, I published another piece called The Real U.S. Deficit Oil in 2005, worth its weight in oil. In those, I noticed the shifting in fuel prices worldwide, in particular in Europe and the U.S., and anticipated the natural consequences of those rising fuel prices for budgets of governments, households, businesses, and the shift in spending and lending and borrowing patterns that would come along with that shift in budgets, and then the shift in prices that would come along with the change in patterns of buying, selling, borrowing, and lending. And I called that, beginning in 2004, the domino oil effect. That's when I first used the term, the domino oil effect. Just last week, I created a new website called thedominoileffect.com, highlighting my prior forecasts, by which I really mean noticing a change that's already began and anticipating how that change will manifest in other observable symptoms or other observable effects. It's kind of like a ripple effect. So I had seen the rock drop into the pond. I knew that eventually the wave was going to reach the shoreline, right? It's not extremely difficult to anticipate the consequences. The issue is being open to noticing change early, being open to benefit from change, especially when other people are maybe not so open. Maybe there's a tide or a wave or a herd of people complaining and experiencing frustration and suffering and loss and anxiety. It's open also to experiencing peace of mind in the midst of change, all kinds of change, because every possible kind of change that could happen might. So freedom with change, peace of mind with change, receptivity to benefit. as well as responsibility and an openness to lead other people, an openness to be responsible for other people and humanity, families, nations, to stop complaining, to stop criticizing, to stop resisting, and notice what's already happening and adapt and adjust. Or let's combine the word adapt and adjust into one word there. It didn't work so well. So adjust, yeah, whatever. So being open, noticing, adapting, benefiting, sharing the benefit, partnering with others, and accessing benefit. That's like leadership. That's distinct from criticizing and complaining and resisting and being anxious and so forth, which are entirely valid and popular and human. And from having been frustrated and anxious and all those other things, we might learn to humble ourselves, to repent, so to speak, and open to change. The meek shall inherit the earth, it is said. Those who are humble, those who are open to change, receive benefits for their receptivity. Thanks for your interest. If you'd like to know more about the changes that I've already noticed, that will be coming to a newspaper headline near you and a conversation near you soon. You have the choice of a 7% gain, a 700% gain, significant losses, and stress and trouble. That's a choice that you have. I welcome you to choose to receive the benefits of change. Contact me. Thanks.